Guardians, what's up guys? Sly here, back at it once again with some more Destiny 2 sweetness for you, and welcome to Prestige Week. Hope all of you out there cashed in your Iron Banner tokens because they're supposed to go bye-bye at the start of today. Now, I've been a little busy as of late, so I didn't get as much info out as I wanted, but hopefully most of you out there follow Bungie on Twitter. They did post it a couple times last week that you need to use all of your Iron Banner tokens before today. Iron Banner in general, it was okay. The weapons are really cool. Not the biggest fan of the armor, and the new meaningless power level system takes away the whole point of it being Iron Banner. It's simply now Crucible with different weapons. It was meant to be a tough battle, the strongest wins. That was what the Iron Banner was all about and what it focused on, end game PvP. And now it's not really even endgame. I mean, they said it so that, the requirement is being level 20 and defeating the campaign, but making it that way at the end of the campaign, in my opinion, doesn't really make it endgame material. Just because you slayed it for the end doesn't mean that it really fits in that category. But in any case, that's another topic for another video, my friends. But in some good light, last week, Bungie did talk about the overwhelming amount of negative feedback about the endgame. Bungie takes a very long time to act on things, but they do act on it. So for that, I give them credit. Hopefully, Bungie takes it to heart, and we'll see some results in the next couple DLCs. But anyway, Prestige Week. Prestige Raid is coming out. So excited, guys. The raid is now a cakewalk for most of us out there, and hopping into a new difficulty should be fun. What I am really excited for, honestly, are the challenges and new mechanics, hopefully coming next week or at the start of November. Now, that's something I am really looking forward to at the moment. Oh, and of course, the December DLC, but more on that later. In any case, enough babbling for me, guys. Let's get out of here. So, let's check out all the goodness coming out of this week's reset guide. And of course, I'll have a Nightfall guide and a Cade's chest guide up soon after, which, by the way, I heard cries for fast forwarding on my chest guides, so y'all can see the complete route. But unfortunately, my editor does not allow for long clips to be fast forwarded like that. I know, it's dumb, I don't know why, but I am trying out a new editor just for that purpose. So bear with me as I try to get that done. Alright, Guardians, let's do the damn thing. It is Tuesday, October 17th, and this is your Destiny 2 Weekly Reset Guide. As always, thank you for joining me and for your continued support of this little channel here. So, starting up in orbit, it is freshly 5 a.m. here in North Carolina, and everything has indeed reset. This week's Flashpoint, heading back to one of my favorite areas within Destiny 2, and that is Titan. So, get ready for a week of Hive. Also, before I forget, for those that are power level 305, vendors have this really strange stock rotation going on. Their inventory of what RNG can drop rotates out every 30 minutes. It usually swaps over at the 10-minute after the hour mark and 40-minute after the hour. On top of that, there's some weird formula that decides who is going to be dropping power level 300 gear and who is not. So there's a website that I'll link down below. It's called vendorengrams.xyz. A weird website name, I know, but I'm in no way affiliated with them, just in case you're wondering. Although it does tell you which vendor is currently dropping 300 level gear. So it's a great way to get all of your infusion materials in for your other armor or weapons. Also, you can start putting all those tokens to use as well. So it is definitely worth checking out. But like I said, you have to be max light in order for a vendor to drop max light. Or power level. Max power level. But anyway, that's definitely a cool little website. A nice little tool to help you get your rest of your stuff up. Okay, so next up, let's take a look at the Nightfall, guys. Last week, we had the Inverted Spire. This week, heading back to probably the worst strike in Destiny 2, and that is Exodus Crash, aka the Giant Vandal. We're also back to a familiar combination with the modifiers as well. First up, we have our buddy Prism. Your attacks matching the focused element deal increased damage. All other elemental damage is reduced. Kinetic and incoming damage is unaffected. The focused element rotates periodically, and of course, that pairs up nicely with Time Warp rings. Vex gates have appeared in the area. Pass through them to discharge temporal energy and extend the mission timer. Now, like I said, I'll have a guide up on the Nightfall and the Prestige version as long as the raid doesn't consume me this week, but the key to this Nightfall is to make sure that you, of course, number one, use Prism to your advantage and only use energy weapons while they are the featured element. And if the featured element is currently something you do not have, then always use your kinetic. Number 2, make sure that you dispatch the ads quickly, of course, and then only activate the first ring after you have taken away most of the dangerous enemies. Now, since you don't need to kill them to extend the time, you can only kill the powerful ones within the area and then bypass the rest safely. Now, you heal this time around. There's no like different healing modifiers on, so you can stand your ground a little bit better than last week's and the week before that. Now we're all 305 as well, or at least most of us are, and we're pretty much 305 on all characters. Now that also makes a huge difference between doing it at 305 and 280, like the first time I got through it like 3 or 4 weeks ago, which was pretty damn rough. So good luck with this, guys. You got it. Alright, well that's about it for Orbit. Next, let's head down to the tower and see what's going on over here. Now, I expected to land and see a transformed tower with the Iron Banner gone, but it is still up there burning away. However, Saladin must be out for breakfast. Kind of weird how things work in Destiny 2, you know? Like, even though events are over, things kind of still stay behind at the tower for like an extended period of time. Not sure why, but anyways, our first stop is to check out Lady Eververse and see what our Bright Dust can get us for this week. Now, for those that have not heard, the Bureaucratic Walk emote was pulled from Tessa's inventory last week due to the fact that you can use it to glitch to just about anywhere. It doesn't have any boundary collision programming, so when the animation walks, it'll virtually let you walk right through anything, and then you can just stop the animation and boom, you'll be inside a wall, which has been a nightmare in PvP. Players were using this exploit to get into walls and then to shoot the other team members, and also they were not able to be damaged in return because they were inside of a wall. But if they walked up close to it, their barrel just stuck outside of the, I guess the barrier, and they could kill them but not get killed in return. So that was pretty crappy. However, for exploratory purposes, it's a pretty cool, neat little glitch. Although I would expect a hotfix pretty damn soon. Anyway, guys, let's take a look at what Tess has, and first up, the emotes. We start off with the legendary one called Confused. Nothing fancy. Pretty sure this is used more for the writing at the bottom of the screen rather than for the actual emote itself. Next up, a rare exotic makes it out and figures, you know, like the week after I finally get this, it becomes something I can purchase, which is like, you know, how it always works. Anyway, the exotic emote is 6-shooter. Pretty cool. Nothing super awesome, but for the collectors out there, it's an exotic, right? Another must-have. Alright guys, moving on to the Sparrow this week, the Lonely Sparrow, one legendary one called Chronoglass. Nothing really all that fancy. As for the ships, we have 2. Starting off with the legendary one first, Breakpoint, Echo Class refit designed by SRL legend Marcus Wren. So that's a pretty cool name drop right there, and I've actually never heard of Marcus Wren. So that's pretty exciting. Although for the ship itself, meh. You can see what I see. Next up, the exotic ship, Ariana's Vengeance. The legendary Ariana 3, one of the Guardians with Eris when they went on their disastrous raid to end Crota on the moon. The ship itself is pretty cool, and the paint job is really what gives this ship its exotic edge. Nothing super exciting though, it's pretty much just a Delta Wing ship, but it's definitely not bad. I was really hoping exotic ships would have like, you know, colored afterburners or moving parts, you know, maybe even their own little horn, right? Who knows? Anyway, stuff like that I thought would be pretty cool, but so far we have seen none of that. Anyway, moving on to weapon ornaments, we start off with the Jade Countenance for the Fighting Lion. It's actually a pretty cool looking ornament here with a glowing green jade covering the carvings of the weapon, but unfortunately the gun itself is still terrible. Next, something I was lucky enough to get early on, and I love this ornament, guys. It's for Hard Light, and it's called The Future is Chrome. I really, really like this one. All chromed out with like a bluish purple kind of lavender glow to it. They did a really good job with this one, and Hard Light is actually a pretty effective weapon. Every time I go out on patrols or something like that, or Flashpoint events, I always grab a weapon that I haven't used yet just to try them out. So next time you go out to do public events, grab yourself Hard Light or just a brand new weapon that you've never heard of, never even tried, and just use it. See what it does for you. Okay, next up, the Optimacy armor this week, and we have a good one, guys. The helmet is finally around, and now it is a little steep, though, at 1200 Bright Dust, but these helmets are definitely some of the better ones of the game. My Titan was lucky enough to have it drop for him, but I definitely bought it from my Warlock. Moving on to the 2 Ghosts this week, we have plain Lambda Shell, and then the number 2 Shell. As for shaders, there's a new one in the mix, and I actually do not have room for it. We have Vanguard Magnus Gloss, which is the old one, but the new one here is called Hacka History Polish. I actually wanted to say Hacka History Polish, but anyway, then there's Dusk and Dawn, bringing up the rear, and of course the Fire Team Medallions here at the end, a must for any Guardian. Alright, well, that wraps up Eververse, everyone. Next, let's take a look at Ikora's combat meditation. This week we have Riptide, then Looped once again, and finally Utopia here at the end. And the last thing to do is to fly into the Leviathan Raid and check out this week's raid rotation. First things first though, I wanted to show you all something here. Now back in the beta, glitchers found the Leviathan floating up in the sky if you looked at it at a certain angle while through like a wall over there on patrol. And while I thought the ship was going to show up in the sky the day before the raid dropped, that's kind of like an arrival thing, it did not. But now when you go to Nessus, you can look up and see it. Now I know it was not there the first 2 weeks the raid came out because I was looking for it. So I'm thinking it might have been added maybe last maintenance. I don't know. It just kind of appeared. Anyways, just wanted to bring that up. See if you guys knew about that or not. Anyways, let's get up there, guys. As you can see, Gauntlet is up first this week, and I'm assuming, if my guess is right, we'll have Puppies next, and then Bathers at the end. But that is about it, Guardians. Like I said, I will have quite a few raid guides coming out for Prestige Mode and, of course, Challenge Mode. However, Prestige Mode will not have any significant changes in mechanics. My guess is that it will only imply level 300 enemies, perhaps some more elemental shields, with of course an ass ton of majors and health sponges. The real challenge here, at least in my opinion, will be the locked loadout, assuming Prestige works the same way in the raid as it does elsewhere. Also, no word on respawns or death penalty in Prestige either, so we'll have to see about that. Like I said, what I'm worried about the most is the loadout. Now, a sword can get you through just about every encounter and stage in the raid, and you can make it through Callus without really ever using a heavy, at least in normal mode. But with increased health and more than likely shield strength for the inside throne room as well as the final stand, it might be risky going in there with a sword. I'm a linear fusion guy for Callus because I can easily get into the millions doing damage with one linear fusion rifle. However, for dogs, linear fusions sucks, and they're really not that helpful for bathers either. They work, but it's not the best option. While I'm not that big of a fan for Merciless, using that for damage on Callus, it might be the best option if our loadouts are going to be locked. But once I know more information and I get in there, I'll get everything I need to do to make a decent guide and to try to help everyone else who needs it. Because I think by the time Challenge Mode comes around and we throw Prestige on top of it, it's going to be our first true hard raid. In any case, guys, I am out of here, peeps. As always, thank you all so much for watching and for the support of Sly Nation. If you're new to the channel, you are always welcome here, guys. Subscribe for tons more D2 coverage. Spank the thumbs up only if you enjoyed yourself. And feel free to comment down below if you have any questions or you just want to say what's up. Take care, y'all, and keep those eyes open for my other 2 Reset Day videos along with my raid guides coming out here very, very soon. But until then, this is your boy Sly, and I'll catch you all next time.